Okay, we continue our trip around the Women's Super League ahead of the new season starting this weekend. Although it isn't starting for Wakefield, they've got a week off, and we're joined by Emma Kershaw from the club. Emma, welcome along. How excited are you to get back playing eventually, although not this weekend?
Insanely. I couldn't play for a while before lockdown because I had an injury, but I think we're all just waiting to get back into it and start playing again.
How's pre-season been going ahead? Obviously, with different restrictions on what you can do as well these days.
Yeah. Pre-season's always going to be hard because it's the most pressuring point of your training, but it's been probably one of the best things I could have done for myself. We've all just been getting fitter and we're prepping for game day, and just it's going really well for us.
I think it was about over a year ago now. I was invited down to the gym to see how you were getting on ahead of the season, which obviously didn't happen. You also put in a lot of work in for that fitness. Is that something that has been key for what you think you need to do for this year?
Yeah. Looking at the things from last season, we realised that strength and conditioning was one of our main things we had to improve on. So we've been working on that lots.
How did you get into the sport? Because again, we're keen to make personalities out of those that play it. So we'd like to know a bit more about you and your background.
Okay. Well, I've grown up with 4 brothers, and being the only girl, my brother plays for Wakefield. My brother is the winger for Wakey, Lee Kershaw, and he started playing his games, and I started watching him. And there's little photos of me being like a child, just holding a rugby ball and running up and down pitch. And then in year 6, I started union up at Building Rugby Club, and I've played there for the last 5-6 years. This is only my 2nd season of league, and yeah.
It must be great having a professional in the family. How much support is he giving you, both in terms of preparation and moral support behind the scenes?
Well, we never used to get on, but
he's envious of your hair. That's why.
Yeah, they're all bald. He's whenever he goes on for a run, he says, "Emma, do you want to come on?" I'm like, sometimes I'll say yeah, but other times I'm thinking, have you seen how fast you are? All my family are really supportive with rugby. He don't really like speaking about rugby too much because it's basically his life, but he's really supportive.
And with the greatest will in the world, there's 2 divisions within women's rugby league at the moment, and that's not to the detriment of anybody. That's just the way it is. What are the realistic expectations of Wakefield this year?
Well, we didn't have the best season last season, so we just have to, even if we're in the middle of a game and we're all like blowing, we have to just keep driving, keep going, and there's nothing that we can not do if you don't think you can.
There's obviously a lot of young talent coming through the squad at Wakefield, but you've got some old heads in there. Well, I don't want to say old heads because I'll upset them. But
no, don't say that.
No. Well, we'll edit that bit out. You didn't say that. I said that. I've got this program here from 2006. And I won't reveal the captain's age, but it gives everyone a nickname, and it says next to Danny Swain, your captain, when she was a younger player coming through at Bradford, they nicknamed her the Whinger. Is she still whinging after training?
I had no idea.
It's in black and white. I can prove it. It does say there.
Look. Oh, that's amazing. No, if anything, Danny's the one that tells us to shut up and get on with it.
What is she like as your captain? Because obviously she's got plenty of experience, and she must be great to have around the club.
Oh, she's one of the most confident players I know. She's a massive impact on the team. We see her as someone who's you can speak to all the time, but at the same time, she's also someone you have to listen to and take, like, be obedient to her.
A real leader, then, exactly what you need.
Yeah,
exactly what the young players need.
Brilliant.
As we say, it wasn't a great season in 2019, but that step up between Super League and the Championship has been difficult for a lot of clubs to navigate. How did you find switching from rugby union to rugby league, or learning rugby union, learning rugby league rather, after so long in rugby union?
Well, I were originally doing union league at the same time. That went on for a good year, and eventually I had to stop union because I got further in league than I did in union because I got into dice, and it was it was quite a hard changeover, but I didn't mess up in any of my games, but except from the very last game of the season where I messed up and started presenting instead of rolling the ball.
Nobody noticed, don't worry.
Oh, they did.
They wouldn't have mentioned it, I'm sure, not in a team environment.
Oh, no.
In terms of recruitment, how are you looking for this year? Because we know you've lost Tara Moxon, obviously, who was a great talent and has gone on to Leeds. But how are you looking as a squad this year?
We started off with 40 players and we've had to cut down to 28. So having that large number of players really helped us pick a selection of strong, energetic players that are determined to succeed in the game. We've still got some players that are on a trial thing for 2 months to see how they evolve into the game because they're kind of new. And they're doing brilliantly so far.
You had a good run in the Cup last year as well. Hopeful that you can maybe upset some of the so-called bigger teams, more experienced teams this year?
Yeah, from union, I've played with a few girls from the other teams, and I know how determined they are and how strong they are, and I know we're just working to just beat them, basically.
Who would you say among your teammates, the ones that people should be looking out for to impress?
New ones coming up?
Yeah.
There's Abby, and she's got... she looks quite small, but she's got the legs of a bull. And then one of the people on the 2-month trial is Danny Jarrett. As she's learning more about the game, she's coming on miles. I used to play with her on 16s, and she's improved so much.
You're, I guess, one of the first players to come off this pathway that has been developed in the last few years of having actual academies now and having a genuine pathway from junior level into the senior Super League, I guess now. How have you found that? And I guess that's something that's got to be a great thing for players of the future.
Yeah, I know it's a lot harder work than it used to be, but it's all worth it in the end, isn't it? All I can just think is I need to keep going because I eventually do want to play rugby for England, and I can only do that by getting further and working hard just to get there.
Obviously, the World Cup this year, I'm guessing that's going to be a bit early for you, but the World Cups in the future. So perhaps a World Cup in France in 4 years' time is a realistic aim.
Oh, that'd be the most amazing thing ever. My dad just keeps on saying to me, you know, you're going to have to play for England or Grandad won't be right happy. Because me and my brother both wanted to play rugby for a while. So one of us has to get into England, hopefully.
And the great thing about the World Cup being here is that it'll, again, ratchet up the profile of the women's game. So even if you're not playing, I presume you'll be supporting it. You'll be getting the benefit of it. And what about England Knights? Because there is sort of this squad that's been named underneath the performance one. Would you hope to get into that this year and maybe a couple of fixtures be announced?
Oh yeah, just to play for my country would be the most proud moment of my life, to be honest. It's my dad's always like pushed me for it and been like, "Oh, you can do this. You've got the strength. You just need to keep going and getting that."
And we've been asking everybody who's been coming on about social media. Every game or one game of every round is going to be featured on something called Twitch. I have no idea what that means.
It's like a live stream thing.
But clearly, as somebody who is so much younger than those asking the questions, this must be a really exciting innovation for you. But you'll be getting all your friends to tune in.
Oh, it is. My nan keeps wanting to watch my games, but she can't because she lives in Bridlington. So now it'll give her a chance to watch my games, and it's just a great opportunity for women's sport because it's getting more coverage.
Phil doesn't know we've got a Twitch channel. We don't use it, but we have got one. I need to do more on it. And I guess that you and the rest of these young players are going to take advantage of the increased awareness of women's sport. You only have to look 5-10 years ago, and women's sport was barely registered on the media radar. But the football, netball, the rugby union team, cricket, of course, it's everywhere, and rugby league can be part of that now.
Yeah. It didn't get, when I was younger, I only used to watch like boys' sports. I never saw anything on TV, but now I'm thinking, oh my God, there's loads I can watch. It's getting further. There's more people emphasising how important it is that women's sport is shown, and it's one of the best times for me as a young player to play.
Because it's difficult for me to understand, because obviously when I was younger, looking at who I wanted to grow up and emulate in rugby, there was plenty of options out there who looked like me. Not that I was any good enough to play rugby at any particular level, but
they were all in black. They were all in black and white.
All in black and white.
Oh,
it's only 30 years ago. It's not that long. No, we were good when we were in black and white, Phil. You know that. But I guess now for players coming up after you, you're the next generation of role models. Does that feel a different kind of pressure on you, or is that something you don't really think about?
Oh, I've never really seen myself as much of a role model, but I feel like I can do something to make other people feel more confident and try new things. Like I played rugby for 6 years, but I'm entering a beauty pageant. And I'm hoping through both of them I'll be able to emphasise the more women we need in news and everything.
I was saying, in terms of rivalry, clearly a lot of the Super League teams are Yorkshire based. You're one of three in the infamous Rhubarb Triangle. Who are you looking forward to playing against the most, and who would you love to get that W over?
I know it's a big thing, but probably Cass or Leeds, mainly because I've grown up knowing most of the players, most of the young players through Union. Like Fran Goldthorpe, I used to play Union with her. She joined Baildon sometimes when her team didn't have enough players. And Kira from Leeds as well. She used to be in Yorkshire with me. And Holly Dodd. I think it'd be great to compete against them again. And considering they were in the cup last year, it'd be just the best feeling if I did. Competitivity, I'm a bit competitive.
we always want to beat Cass and Leeds. That's what we always want to do. I mean,
yeah, that's the big one.
Phil will remember, and this is the bizarre thing. In the dim and distant past, you've opened up the door on this one now because you mentioned beauty pageants. The only way women were involved in rugby league a long, long time ago is clubs used to have their own Miss whatever, Miss Wakefield. Yeah, they used to have like Miss Wakefield Trinity and Miss Leeds Rugby. That was how women were involved in rugby league in the past. But obviously, things have completely changed. I mean, it's a whole different world now. And as you say, if you want to be in a beauty pageant, or you want to play rugby, or you want to do both, you can do that, and that's brilliant. It's inspiring. You know, I just sat here and doing nothing, but it's good to see that people can go out there and whatever they choose to follow, they can just go out and do it nowadays. There's no restrictions on that.
Yeah, it's a bit different for the things I usually do, but I feel like if I can have an influence on other people or people that are younger than me, saying, I've tried this, I've tried that, why can't you?
Everyone we've interviewed previewing the women's season is far too nice. and that's got to stop because we need to build up some animosity between the teams because it's newsworthy. And actually, even within the team. So dish us some dirt on your coaching staff.
I saw this on Fran's interview.
She never fell for it, though.
I know. Can't think of it. They're all too nice. No, I can't think of it. They're all too nice.
We need more. We need more. If we're going to make personalities out of you all,
Stacey's still nuts. So is Danny and Lisa. That's all I can think.
Lisa's the queen of TikTok. She's never off there, is she?
Oh, I love it. She used to send it to group chat whilst we were in the first lockdown, and it was brilliant. She used to send us videos.
I mean, is she as nuts as on the picture she appears to be on TikTok?
I remember watching my first Wakefield game, and Lisa fully smacked into someone, and I was like, okay. And I was absolutely in awe of how strong she is. I love Lisa. She's so nice.
I guess you have to say that, otherwise she'll smack you in training.
Oh no, yeah.
Get in the wrestling room, I think is the phrase that you meant.
Oh.
In terms of club support, again, we've seen that Castleford are wanting their women to play all their home games at the Menderhose Jungle. The main finals going to be at Headingley this year. You're looking forward to playing at some of these senior professional grounds as the profile goes up of women's rugby league.
Yeah, the only ground I've ever played at is Wakefield, except from in uni. And I think going to these new places and seeing different what's it called, atmospheres for different sports, different clubs is just going to be a pretty good experience.
Final one from me, Emma. Challenge Cup, as Phil's mentioned, you've got York in the first round. That'll be the first game of the season in a week's time. How ready are the side for that? And obviously a big rival side at the bottom end of the table from a couple of years ago.
We're so ready to play that I think we're just gonna smash through them. That's the main thing that's going through my head. I know we have to, and it's a big ask for over a year not playing rugby and going into a game, but it's going to be hard work, and we know it's going to be hard work. But we're doing all the strength and conditioning that's going to make us be fit enough and strong enough to play the game for as long as we can, and hopefully we've got it in the bag.
and they're going to be the same as well, aren't they? Because again, they're coming off a year off, although they will have played this week. Is that an advantage, the fact that they've got a game against Leeds this week? Is that an advantage that they're going to come in off the back of actually feeling those hits, or the fact that you've got an extra week?
Advantage.
You'd rather be out there this week with a fixture computer says no, and you get an extra week off. But well, we will see what happens. Emma, thank you very much for your time this morning. It's been great to speak to you. Best of luck for the season. Obviously, fingers crossed, Wakefield do whatever we need to do. I'll be at some of the games, hopefully, when we're allowed. Best of luck for the season and for the future. And hopefully we'll see you at the World Cup in France in 4 years' time.
Hopefully.
We might even speak to you before then.
Possibly.
Good luck, and look forward to feeling like you've been hit by a bus a week on Monday.
Oh, more than one bus.